Good morning.
Good morning. You hear me, Don?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Okay.
I forgot we're having a drill, so I'm going to drop off and then I'll drop back on.
Okay. Oh, we have a whole crew here. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, now it's a party.
I know. Let's see. What the process is doing? Am I sharing?
You are not.
Oh, no wonder. Okay.
Please share with us, John.
Since you asked so nicely.
Too much, too much.
Too much sharing.
There. Okay, let's go to agenda, which isn't much. So basically, pass down to still talking about. There's one more week left for the um, EMA summit in Dublin. So those with the inclination and the money to go, please apply. And
Would you sponsor us?
If I had the funds, I tell you, I'm building a house right now. I got no funds for anything.
Yeah, I can recommend a documentary that stars Tom Hanks about it, by the way.
All right, so we're going to go to pull requests and issues. And one of the extra things I wanted to do was I was looking at the and doing the server usage guide and realized that I should really use this new method you guys have of auto generating everything. But I don't.
Put an asterisk in that because we have some more homework to do to get everything to be using that.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was going to go migrate to it and say, you guys can make my life a whole lot easier just by using that. So I'll just come to editing.
No, I think it's okay for everyone to start migrating. I think
Yes.
what Mike just said is they're still migrating some stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Good. Good. Yeah. If you because I saw no quote documentation that we could leave to those after us to actually go use this to create additional ones. And I don't know, Mick is in here, right?
No.
No, he didn't make it. He had some pull requests in here, so
Okay.
if he had time,
Yeah.
I would give him the time since I'm sure he wants to go back to bed.
So,
So
so John, also for the agenda, so I do want to talk about all the profiles we have in flight and the the pathway to completion on these within the group, within
okay,
the hardware management group. So if you want
do you want to start that?
to.
You want that before pull request or
Sure.
after? Um, okay. Do you want, with that, why don't we just go move forward with the agenda? So, let's see, baseline. It's currently in draft. It needs approval by our management project. And let's see, it needs review. I think we did review the user guide updates. Server. That is update users guide, which I'm in the process of doing. Uh, okay, the cooling environments. Oh, which one do you want to do next?
Sustainability.
Okay, so we have approval profile.
Yeah.
Profile users guide. And then approval by sustainability. And then
Think you
is
can
that clear?
copy and paste that for Ethernet, Nick, and change the group?
Yep, yep, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and then copy it 2 more times for PowerShelf and Rack PDU.
Who does PowerShelf and Rack PDU?
As in, well,
Which project?
well, Rack and Power.
It's all cooling stuff. I'm just cooling stuff.
Yeah, liquid cooling stuff. There's the liquid cooling baseline spec, the CDU spec, And do we have to do rear door heat exchanger today? I don't know anyone asking for rear door heat exchanger at the moment, but
Yeah.
I just put cooling stuff, everything in it.
okay.
And then anything else? Component baseline? Oh, no,
Is that
service.
ready?
No, Redfish
Oh yeah,
service.
yeah, Redfish baseline service or baseline Redfish service.
We just keep playing with the words, okay? Okay. Anything else? Okay, owners. Like that. Tell me if you object.
Oh wow, you're shaking things up.
That's it, right?
Yep.
Close enough.
What, is anyone not in the right place?
Well, I assumed Jeff was going to be taking the power stuff mainly because of Rack PD, but I did PowerShell, so I could do both. And
Oh, I'm not gonna touch it. At some point, I want to do storage. I've got it waiting in the wings, but I'm probably 3 months away.
You want to put Ethernet NIC in here?
Yeah,
Is
that
that
a
right?
yes?
it would have been ready today if I hadn't gotten sick.
So I'll just put NIC. Oh. Or is it server or networking? Server.
Yeah, we
Okay.
have the Nick folks in the server project.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, we're done? Okay, that's committed. Let's go to pull requests. Okay, anyone pull request that you need to review?
I have a poll. Yeah. Oh, why is it failing that? Let's see why. Anyway, I did some of the homework for filling out the use cases and the baseline spec.
Okay,
And
do you want to go through it or you want to drive?
yeah, it's what
Do you want me
Jeff,
to go through it? Or
first?
do,
I added to it as well, Mike, and I'm probably the GitHub desktop does not have the support for the silly developer whatever the
Oh,
Oh, the
yeah.
DCO sign off.
Mhm.
so we can mark them as passing. I mean,
There's a thing you can put in the comment every time
right, but you have to
and it
make
works, but you have to remember to do it.
and by the way, that process is actually like useless for our purposes here because none of this is backed by the Apache thing that is where that normative reference comes from. But anyway, that's another issue for another day.
So Mike, do you want to go through this pull request?
Yes.
Okay. You want to drive or you want me to drive?
How about you drive? Because I'm
Okay.
being pulled in all
Good.
directions. It should
Okay.
it should be pretty straightforward because it's just a documentation update to
So
include use cases.
okay, you want it in this form or the other form?
This works fine because it's mostly additions.
Okay.
I did tweak some of the intro wording into there. That kind of drove me nuts a little bit. Yeah, I've been told to avoid terms like aims and via is not acceptable with some people. Anyway. So filled in the user account management section. I kept it terse just to give some of the quick use case examples describing the resource involved. So account service, manager account role, redirect, and this is going to be a common pattern you'll see, and it's the way we're using it in other use case sections. Kind of follow this pattern where call out the resources, what they represent, redirect the user to the redfish data model spec for the full details, and then giving examples for different things. In this case, I have a few different examples for what you would do with user account management. So viewing an existing user account, so doing a get operation on a manager account, then showing a sample payload. To create a new user, you do a post, and there's the sample payload. To remove a user, you do a delete. Next
Hey,
section. Oh,
I want to make one point.
Oh,
okay.
Anywhere is fine then. So and this there may be two answers here. In this profile, we are directly mentioning and have profile requirements for manager account as an example
Mhm.
on the screen. So in Appendix A we have the whole schema guide, and that same payload example will show up there. So, we're effectively cutting and pasting and duplicating a lot of these examples, and I
Yep.
understand we want to give them. I'm wondering if should we instead have some shortcut language to say, for an example of the payload, see Appendix A, just so we're not making the document that much longer, or is it worth bringing those up to um, to have them kind of inline. There are other cases like, I mean, we mentioned some of this stuff in the PDU guide. It has mentions of things like manager accounts, which maybe we should just take out. But that is not covered there. So yeah, so putting an example in there, it makes sense if you're going to do that. So I'm just kind of dividing this up with hey, if you're referencing stuff that's not going to be in the profile directly, which I'm not really sure why we're mentioning it, if that's the case. So maybe the answer is that all of the payload examples should be in the appendix, or you should be able to find one in the appendix. So maybe it's pointing to it. I don't know. Thoughts?
well,
Hmm.
go ahead.
I like it inline just because I think with the target audience, they don't want to jump around.
And the example that I put in line is usually a very abbreviated fragment. And so yeah, you get the stuff. You want more? Yeah, here's a link to the stuff in back if you want to go see the full flash one. Because I think in my original users guides, it's like go look at whatever DSP on the Redfish site if you want to see all of it. So this gives a person an idea what type of data he will get.
Yeah, and I also try to cut it down to just the bare minimum, or at least what I thought would be the bare minimum for some of these payloads.
Like I don't even put old data type,
Oh, okay.
right? Because I look at it from a programmer standpoint, right? He's going to make this issue, and he's going to get a bunch of properties back, and he probably wants one of them. And if he'll look through it and say, oh, this, yeah, these are type of properties I expect from my account,
Okay.
right? The actual, a correct function of knowing what schema to look at. It's like most people don't look at a schema, right? They say, hey, I know this JSON file. I can just do a grep, get my
Okay.
data, and be done.
Because I think the other documents they have those additional pieces of info. So okay, we could. I agree with pulling those out. But yeah, I mean, Jeff, I was trying to prune down these examples to just the bare minimum,
Oh,
just so
okay.
it's
Well,
not
I
overloaded.
wasn't, yeah, okay. I wasn't doing that because if
Oh,
we just want to pull the payloads, I need to go double check but I believe there's capability in the doc generator that you could just put a pound include, to go grab the examples from the DSP 2046
mhm.
examples. And my
Yeah, I was refining these for the use case
okay.
and trying to
Right.
keep it down to what is a reasonable
Okay.
bare bones one.
That's fine, because what I didn't want to do is I really don't want to just duplicate the stuff that's in the guide for the sake of brevity, number one, but probably number two, more important, is if we're manually cutting and pasting it, then they don't get auto updated with the schema, right?
Mhm.
So okay, if we're gonna pare them down to just show snippets, then let's make sure we state that here's an abbreviated payload, but
Yeah, I think on mine I always say fragment.
okay, fragment, yeah,
And that's why when I do a gets when it's like the use cases get through data, I say go get chassis, and here's a little fragment which has all the through information. Everything else is gone.
okay, yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay, back to Mike.
All right, so show an example post to the account collection and a sample delete to show the adding a new user and removing a user. Certificate management. Look at cert service, look at certificates. Here are some common usages. So doing a post to generate CSR, to produce a certificate signing request, and then showing an example of, hey, I'm going to go replace a certificate. And for these ones in particular, I'm showing full HTTP traces because I think it's important to show some of the headers, because that's kind of critical to the some of the behaviors in the spec. Then lastly, viewing a certificate. Event delivery. Event service, event destination, and event. To see subscription information, do a get on a subscription. To create a subscription, do a post to the subscription collection. To delete a subscription, do a delete on the subscription resource. And then lastly, this one's a little different because this is showing a service communicating back to a listener. So showing the post back to say, hey, I'm posting to events. This is coming from the service to the listener, and giving an example payload for an event.
Why is there a structure for Ethernet interface?
Because this is an Ethernet interface IP configuration. You went to the next section.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this isn't really a use case.
What?
Yes, it is. This is receiving,
Yes, this is on the
right?
receiving side. So the
And
listener needs to be prepared to receive this payload.
okay,
Nope, I need to fix the message arguments.
Okay. So in this case, if it's following the same format, right? We don't invoke, there's no invocation. We just,
There's
Yes.
no invocation, but it's asynchronous. It comes back from the service.
right.
Because I think that's important for here because if I mean the reader's going to go, well, why am I subscribing to events? What's going to happen?
No, no, I think the sections are important.
Yeah.
It's just trying fitting it into the format of the other sections. And so you would just have to have a comment saying you don't post. There's nothing to post. You just sit back and listen.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So
Yep. Ether interface.
So why is Ethernet interface in baseline? Right.
To control the manager's Ether interface? That's a requirement.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
How do you have Redfish if you don't have an interface to Redfish?
Yeah, the
Right.
Ethernet NIC profile is not the one for the manager.
No.
Okay, so I would just change the title to have manager in front of it.
Okay.
Then I have no problem with this.
Okay. But yeah, that's the intent is the manager network interface.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Showing how to get. I struck out all the IPv6 GORP just because I thought it'd be too much for here.
Mm-hmm.
Gave an example for patching to set static IP. Then an example is set it back to DHCP.
Yeah, see, this is where I think just having the IPv6 stuff in here, but kind of stubbed out, right? So we actually don't show all the detail.
Mhm.
Just tells the person, hey, there's v6 in here. If I care, I'll go look down at the bottom where the full resources listed. But that's up to you to decide, how much work you want on. Because I can see the first objection is there's no v6 in here. There is.
Yeah, it's all, well, v6 is also optional.
Right. Okay. Before patch. Yep. And software licensing. So is this required?
It's recommended.
Okay. All right. Okay, so this is license, getting a license, posting a license.
Jeff, you didn't fill in event logging.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to all these yet.
Okay.
Okay, so that seems to be done.
Yeah, and I didn't cut down to these examples, so I can do that too. But
Okay, so we want to merge this as is and then have additional fixes.
oh yeah,
We're still in draft, right? So
yeah.
I don't care.
And there was the important part.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm good with this. The only thing I don't know if you guys actually put the usage table. Is it in this file or is it in another markdown?
It should be in this file because it's going to point to each of the subsections to call out the different use cases.
Okay.
Oh, okay. We need to. Is that in the other? Is that in the other document?
Yeah, we basically have like a use case table before all the use cases to say here are all the use cases and which ones are required and which ones are recommended. So it does duplicate some of the things in the profile.
Okay, where did that come from?
Look at the liquid cooling ones.
Okay, but I mean, is that something that that SC is asking for these kind of contributions for use case?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, just check it. Okay.
Okay. Oh, there it is. Right. Okay. I'll handle the checks afterwards.
Yeah. So John, but so in terms of the approval flow here, and
Mhm.
it's going to be the same question for all of these, but I don't think we've had any changes in this work stream for I think any of these profiles, in a while. So I mean, I think any feedback we got from the folks on the call or regularly attend, I think we're reached steady state. Um,
Mhm.
I would like us to say, let's take all of these. Uh, I think we've got 2 weeks to kind of finish clean up on on these, on the use cases and so forth. But the actual profile content, I'm not expecting any more changes. Or there's nothing pending. So I'd like to take this to the wider hardware management group next month to start a clock on hey, we're going to approve these for hardware management. I mean, I'm not looking to approve in 2 weeks. I think we need to ring the cowbell and say, all right, ballot is open effectively, or the review window is open for all of these profiles. They're all moving out of the work stream into the main group. We've got a month or whatever.
Okay, so would the usage guide be done by then?
Yes. Well,
Okay, no,
yeah. Well, and I don't think there's anything that prevents. I mean, we may get we can certainly incorporate feedback as we get it from the larger group after that, right? So I mean, yes, I think we should think that they're done in
okay,
that 2 weeks.
right, because I usually take the usage guide and the profile in tandem out.
Sure.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So you want to try and take all these out to the appropriate projects that we
Well,
listed?
that's why I wanted to ask what you think the flow is, because I would expect that we as hardware management probably need to say that they've been approved from the management perspective, and then send them out to the projects to see if they have, to see what feedback they have, and then incorporate those changes, and then say that they're done,
Mhm.
and then tell the groups to, please go make normative references.
Right. No, I'm fine with that. Your project lead, right? So if they could go directly from this profile group directly to the projects first, or you
I,
can get
I,
first
I can
approved
go,
by hardware management.
I can go either way. Uh,
It's
what do you guys think is more appropriate? I mean, I would like to say that maybe we should take them to the projects first. Um, but I also don't know if we're going to get any feedback from any, other than the folks that have already that we've already talked with about the profiles.
mhm.
Yeah, the only feedback I got on the PowerShell profile was someone was asking why I showed a diagram of ORV2 connectors when Dell was using ORV3, and I said, no, that's just a sample PowerShell. That has nothing to do with what I'm talking about.
That power supply doesn't make sense. It's only 8%. Yeah.
Like, no, I just wanted a sample PowerShell to show where an LED might be. This is not a real thing we're doing.
At
Oh.
least many of you looked at it.
Yeah, I mean, he looked at it, but he looked at the wrong thing.
So like an 18 kilowatt, 3 volt output or something, just to make sure they're listening.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're open either way, why don't we take it to hardware management?
Okay,
Versus-
yeah, I said I can go either way, and I don't know if it's going to affect the outcome, but I kind of want to put a 2 month clock on this stuff to get it finished.
Right, but I also think it can be in tandem, right? You can go to hardware management and have
Oh,
them
absolutely.
a
Yeah,
review
yeah.
cycle, and at the same time go to sustainability and say, hardware management is taking their final approval of this of the
Yeah.
profile file, right? In addition to users guide, we want you guys to go focus on the users guide,
Yeah. So I mean,
right?
yeah. At least I can speak for sustainability because because I'm involved there, and that so we've done all that. So I mean, I think from sustainability standpoint, the sustainability work group thinks it's done.
Good, good. Yeah, yeah. What I want to go to the SC with is, here's the sustainability users guide, it's been approved by both sides,
Yes.
and then we don't even need a presentation at the SC at this point. Then we can't have a review at the SC because at the SC right now they have contributions which have a meeting and they present to the SC, and then there's another class where basically you post and say it's a contribution, but we're not going to do a SC presentation. So I'll ask
Okay.
them what
So
to do.
it's just a SC review at that point then,
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. So right now in the SC, all specifications have to go through the SC.
right?
White papers, all this other stuff that can be contributed, but doesn't need to be quote presented.
Okay. Good. Yeah, and you're right. That those absolutely the harbor management and the associated projects that can obviously happen in parallel. So yeah, we don't need to lockstep those. They just both need to sign off on that. I don't care who does it first, but
Right. And
yeah,
once the SC gets it, they get their normal 2 weeks to
right,
review the text, and they definitely don't want to look at the profile. They just want
yeah.
to look at users. I've tried to train them on profiles. They somehow
Right.
don't like
Oh,
that.
I get that.
Okay, so that's my progress. Okay, anything else? Nothing? Okay, I have a question. Let's go to issues.
Okay.
Deal with. Okay, so one issue is actually in the server profile. It's the movement of a serial console to systems from manager.
Mm-hmm.
And what I found was, it's simple to add. It's really simple to go add it to um, systems. The question is, what do I do with this one from manager that's still there? Did I remove it? No, I don't have to look at the. Okay,
Uh,
so yeah, so right now, what I do? I put. Yeah, I put serial console under system. Oh, yeah, under system. But there's still in version 1.0, this is still under
manager.
manager.
Yeah. Do
It,
you want to mark that as a? Let's see. Because it would be this. It's going to be the same move thing. It's only the one property. Well, I mean, we could mark that as like we could change that one to be an if implemented, and then put a purpose, a note that like, hey, this is this requirement really belongs under system, but it may be replicated here.
ah, okay, good. That's a good resolution. Thanks.
Yeah, because that way,
Because I first we moved it like I did here, and I said, wait a minute, this is gonna break people.
yeah.
So,
When you're
right,
missing a comma there on line 139, by the way, John.
thank you.
But yeah, I would do it as an if implemented and not a recommended, because we don't want to make it a recommended thing. It's the, hey, if it's here, just make sure you do it right.
Right. And so in systems, is it mandatory?
I would not say mandatory, because I don't think are we mandating that you have a serial console?
That's
Oh,
that'll be if implement. Well,
if it,
what is it today
I
with
don't
the
know.
base with the server profile? Is it?
today in the server profile, it's not under systems, it's under manager.
Well, I know, but what's the
It's
requirement on it?
Is
Are
it,
it's
is it,
we?
manager.
Are you? It's mandatory.
Yeah, and we've been asked in one of these to make it to soften that.
okay, yeah, I
Okay.
would make that.
Yeah, I was gonna say if it's going to be an OCP requirement for servers to have consoles, then it sounds like specifying as mandatory in the profile is correct.
Mhm.
If OCP's overall requirements say this is an optional feature, then yes, we would have to loosen it to if implemented.
Yeah, here. So this is the move to computer system, and this is the serial console should be made recommended.
Yeah, I wouldn't say make it recommended. I would say make it if implemented.
Okay, I will just notate.
Good point, Mike. Because yeah, I think the distinction being, you know, there's if there's an underlying feature requirement, you know, that's not on the profile's job to say. It's really it. So that's why it's an if implemented. Whereas, hey, this is something that would be good data that you should be exposing via the Redfish interface. That's a recommendation, right? So we're not trying to tell you to go have the feature. Hence the if implemented. I'm arguing to myself here, so.
Okay, that one change actually clears out 3 of the issues. And, oh, there's one other one which made no sense to me. I don't know if it's our problem or whether it's here it was. Min count. So the issue is that the profile passes if Ethernet interface collection resource exists, but there are no members. Should
Well,
we?
with the baseline Redfish profile, it would require at least one Ethernet interface beneath
That
management.
that's what I told him.
So,
Okay, so basically, I looked at it and I go, well, yeah, if you look at the baseline, which this references, baseline has a min count of 1. So
but do you also call out which Ethernet interface collection that is? Because this by itself doesn't tell you if it's a system collection or a manager collection. And so if someone populates Ethernet interfaces on a system, but not on manager, you would pass the profile.
okay, so this is need to specify specifically the system.
Well, is this for system?
Um, I have to go ask them.
I guess it goes back to what is the requirement supposed to be? Are we trying to require modeling of manager Ethernet interfaces, system Ethernet interfaces?
Right, right.
Is your hardware management manager profile meant to be a BMC?
It's
The server management profile is meant for manageability of a server, which
Got
could
it.
include BMC functions.
I got that.
but the baseline service shouldn't care if you're a server
Yeah,
or
the baseline service is focused specifically on, I guess you could say, it's for simplicity, say call it the BMC.
Yeah, if it's really aimed at a BMC or a rack manager managing, having one Ethernet, it makes
But
sense.
I think John's case is more about server management, which could pull in the system Ethernet interfaces.
Which I'm thinking, why does it have to have an Ethernet interface? If I
Because
could,
OCP management requirements say you need to manage them. That's the only rationale.
well, what if I'm
go ahead, Jeff.
a system that could be called a server? I just don't use Ethernet as my fabric. I don't have an NIC.
Then you don't meet OCP server requirements.
That's fair. Okay.
So I mean, it goes back to what is the intent of the server
Yeah.
management requirements. So
Yep. That's fair. It's meant for a pizza box.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other things coming out on the market, but fine.
Okay, so we think that this is probably just manager.
If it is
Yeah.
just manager, then we're covered with the baseline Redfish service. And if we realign the server profile to make use of the Redfish baseline, then we don't need to have this in the profile at all. It'll get it free.
Okay.
So I guess we need to figure out, one, is there a requirement in the server manageability spec that says you need to be able to peek and poke at the system Ethernet interfaces? And if not, then
no, there isn't.
And
okay.
'Cause I remember writing it and saying, hey, I have a server that doesn't talk to anybody.
Okay.
But you put a usual server, but
Okay,
they have,
then-
it may
then-
have not be connected by Ethernet.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
again, I trying to avoid the profiles creating requirements. It's, people should have a requirement spec that says I need to do all these different things, and the profile just helps codify it and test it.
So
Well,
I'll
if it's
just ask
not-
to. So I'll ask a stupid question because I like stupid questions. Do we have some kind of compute profile where maybe you have, I'll just call it blade chassis because that's an older technology, but I know some of your newer AI boxes are like this, where you've got multiple compute slots that are basically their own little server, but they may all just all talk amongst themselves and then talk to a single management server that has an Ethernet, but they themselves have all the functionalities other than they're talking to a backplane instead of an Ethernet port. I'm just thinking for parallel compute applications.
I don't think they've gotten that far.
Okay.
I think OCP is still in the kind of like the crawl phase of some of these requirements. It's
I understand. Just that was the only that was the one use case I could think of off the top of my head where you would have a server without an Ethernet port was in parallel computing, where you have all these little servers that all talk amongst themselves but don't really talk to the rest of the world other than through effectively an intermediary.
But still, it wouldn't necessarily have to be Ethernet.
doesn't have to be.
Yeah. I mean, we could always use 10 base T.
Okay, yeah, but this particular issue is Ethernet. Just saying. The only Ethernet OCP requires is the one-to-many management interface that I know. Okay, that deals with those two. Any issues you want to go through, or I'll just go take them from the top? Okay, lucid environmental metrics. Is that something you want to discuss here? Or
It's something I need Mick to weigh in on because right now there's a it's a pretty trivial thing to think about. There are some. So right now the requirement in the liquid cooling spec is you need to support power watts and energy kilowatt hours. And I've been told from some suppliers that that's a added feature that may cost more. And so I thought, hey, maybe this needs to be loosened if implemented. I don't know where the liquid cooling group is going to stand on that to say, are you mandating power metrics from the unit, or is that an optional feature?
Isn't the
So-
pull request for liquid cooling?
Well, and so those are probably going to be duplicative, but but we're going to be pushing the sustainability profile to say, that's the number one thing. Thou shalt provide top
Yeah.
power.
Well, the argument against it is people who have these CDUs will say, "Hey, I have the power metering done by the connected rack PDU that has all the power information. Why does the CDU have to also report it?"
Well, that's a valid argument, right? But
So that's why I'm raising it as an issue for the liquid cooling folks to debate. Like, do they want to force OCP conformant CDUs to all have power meters in them? And if the answer is
Wait,
yes,
wait.
then we leave it as is. If it's no,
Isn't that an implementation issue as opposed to a modeling issue? I want to go to a CDU and say how much power you're using, whether
yes, but today it says it's mandatory.
no, whether it has the power meter on the CDU or whether it has the power meter outside the CPU CDU, that's an implementation issue. It's going to provide
Yeah,
me whatever.
but the way it would work is if you want to say you're an OCP conformant CDU, you need to pass this profile. If that power meter is outside the CDU, you have nothing to test against.
Okay.
This requirement says this CDU needs to report, the CDU itself needs to report the power.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we need to get the liquid cooling folks to say, do you want this requirement or not? And if the answer is no, then we change it to if implemented in the profile. If it's yes, then we leave it as is.
yeah, and Mike, I guess my guidance would be, I would mark those as recommended in the CDU profile with the intent that, hey, if
You wouldn't use it. You wouldn't use if implemented.
I suppose it's an if implemented.
Yeah,
I thought if implemented was stronger than recommended.
If implemented says if you have the capability, you need to support it.
Or you need to model it.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think that it's probably worth a note with the liquid cooling folks to just note that those requirements are going to come through the sustainability group, and so there may need to be some more weasel words of the hey, I can provide that functionality, but it's via the power, it's via the rack level power.
Could be. Well, but if you're a standalone CDU, you to meet OCP conformance.
Yeah, no, I understand. But if sustainability folks say thou shalt have all this stuff have power management or power reporting, then you're like, well, I don't meet that, but you can still meet but you can meet those requirements by plugging into a managed power device.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but
So we're gonna leave this open until you talk to Mick or Jeff.
Yeah.
Do you want, wait, okay.
let's talk to Mick. But yeah, that's the issue.
I think that seems reasonable. Because we'll if anything it gets strengthened or it gets handled by the sustainability profile, so we don't need to put it, we don't need to make it required in both places.
Okay, and so you're gonna talk to Mick and then update this issue.
Yes.
Okay, Ethernet. Server management. Okay, so server. I don't know what this is here.
Oh,
Removing status health from Ethernet interface.
yeah. So I scrolled down a little bit. Did I comment on this? Or I think I
No.
looked at this. So I know that this is I don't remember this particular one. Maybe there was another one, but no, this is it. Okay, maybe there was a public posting on this too. But the point here, and I think this is almost kind of back to a redfish question, but it's the hey, I don't have any information about the health of the is this an Ethernet? Yeah, the Ethernet interface, like I don't know, I don't have any health information. It's like I can talk to it, therefore it's like, guys, you can just hard code it okay. But I think as a group, we want to see those values. We want you to support the property so that the software can show something. Is that, is that the guidance we want to give, or is it a, hey, I would hard code health to okay and state to enable because I don't have anything else? Is that the guidance we want to give? Or, if I don't have dynamic values for those, then don't report status.
I would not report status
Yeah,
because
wanna-
you're telling them the truth. I have no idea what is happening.
right. Yeah. Well, I'm on the fence, John, because it's this is definitely one of the looking at status is how much downstream software is going to not ever look for it. Because the first implementation I see didn't have a status, therefore I'm not going to rely on it, or fail unnecessarily because the property didn't exist.
Yeah, but it has no requirement to exist.
Right. So that's the question. So I think, do we say that, yeah, fine, we can loosen that to say like, yeah, especially for Ethernet interface, you have link state, which is probably the bigger, the one that's more important. Sorry, link status. So, but you get my point. If we're all if we all lean towards just make it recommended because it may be a useless hard coded value for most implementations or for many implementations, then I can go with that too.
Yeah, I have no problem. I have no problem doing that. It's better. It's better than making up a value for it or forcing the value to
I,
be okay.
I don't disagree.
Okay.
Because if it was it certainly I would absolutely want to make that same argument, John, for other properties. Like, well, don't make it up if you don't know.
Wait. So is he asking for state or status?
I'm
Status and health.
gonna guess he's gonna ask for status overall, which makes sense to me.
Okay.
I mean, especially for a Nick, it's like, well, there's probably only one other state, and if you don't have if you can't tell the health of the thing, you probably don't have enable disable either.
Okay. Baseline refresh service. Have you?
Did I not fix this?
You should.
I thought oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah, you agreed.
Yeah, and there's a poll for it.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Sorry, I guess I was looking for, I don't know, I was looking for a label. I was like, yeah, I did a poll for this.
Oh, yeah. So you have to update that with the label on.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's just a cut. It's effectively a cut and paste of the requirements. Like, yeah, you don't need the prefix length when you're specifying static addresses because there's no masking to do on a static address.
Okay. New baseline. Oh, this is the new base. Not baseline. The update baseline.
Yeah. So is this was there a comment? Mike, did you comment on this? I want to. Oh yeah, we did talk about this. So
Yeah, we just haven't done it yet.
well, I made a commit to it to the.
Oh.
I think I did it in
Right.
the I think I did it in the Certus baseline, not in the quote the old one.
Yeah, but we were going to change this baseline to complement to this, right?
Well, that's the that's the bigger question, isn't it? That's more work or We have, I guess we have, but that's a larger effort. I don't think we haven't done that yet.
No, we haven't. Oh. Okay, so you made the change here. I'll
I
go
made
make.
the service baseline.
Okay. Okay. So you just don't have a link here yet,
It's
right?
there. Is there not a poll for that, or?
Well, if there's a pool, then there should be a reference.
Well, I see it right above there. It says, I've said at the top of the page there, added a commit.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So forward baseline. Then we can close this. Okay. We have reached the top of the hour, guys. So I think that's it. I think we have the agenda on the process, and I won't take up any more of your time. Thank you for attending. Make more progress next time we meet.
All right.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Huh? The dogs? Uh-huh. What a bunch of wusses.